Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, boys, girls, and everything in between. Welcome back to 7 Days to Die. Now, you may recall previously with our 7 Days to Die series, we had um, we had stuff going, right? We had a house, we were making guns. We were pretty far along. I mean, we had everything going. We had our we were farming iron. We were getting to make our trenches with our traps, and I had all that built up. Now something happened. So if you've been paying attention, they did an update. This is what version is it? It's like it's Alpha 11. Sorry, Alpha 11. Now with this came a lot of changes. For example, they added the Unity 5, and that added quite a bit of bells and whistles to the look of the game. They also updated with new Steam server browsing and things like that, so you should be able to. I'm not sure about that because I haven't tested it yet. You should be able to browse servers before actually getting onto the game, if they have it all set up correctly, and load directly onto the server, which would be cool. Then we have the fact that they added the new speed tree system. So if you notice, the trees now have different skins. They sway in the wind. The trees look a ton better, and they're gorgeous. And the shading is 100 times better too. It's actually pretty accurate to the type of tree, whereas before it had a kind of general shade, and the shade was actually like 8 times bigger than the tree itself, so it was kind of weird. But they added that. They added Unity 5's physics-based shader, which again is just going to be more shading. They added the fact that you don't have to turn grass into plant fibers, and to build an axe you no longer have to turn stones into sharp stones. They also added if you look at the table there, it's a quality, right? So mine's faulty stone axe at the top. As you level up now, because there is leveling, your quality of items will go up. So as I level up and build better and better things, the quality of my axe, the quality of whatever I'm building, will go up. They also added some new tracking abilities and things like that. So the Chrysanthemum has a different look to it. They changed quite a bit here. So you'll notice a lot of changes to the game, but this is indeed 7 Days to Die. Everything's pretty much the same. So I say there's a lot of changes. Everything as far as functionality is pretty much the same. There's obviously been some graphical changes and some shading changes and things like that that are just meant to make it look better and better, obviously, right? So that's the point. They want to make it a beautiful game to look at as well as to play, which I believe they did. This update is very good. A lot of times they screw up the game. I don't notice a huge disadvantage to the gameplay. I don't see any more lag than normal. The look of the trees is a lot better. The look of the water is actually a lot more realistic. The mobs are now, I think, HD. They're supposed to be really high quality, and they do have a lot more detail, I will say. But again, so that's kind of just some new things. I'm just going to go through a few of the update things while I'm chopping down some trees here. They added their own ambient occlusion system, which lets them weight darkness and things like that for caves, which is new. I'll show you one in a minute because I actually will spawn next one. But they added a cave system which you can actually travel through, which is really interesting. They're actually quite extensive caves. They're not just like, a 5-foot cave. They're quite extensive. So But anyway, so they added that so that they could do different shaders with the caves and things like that, and ambient occlusion there, and interiors of homes. They added their own water reflection that interacts with the standard shader for the Unity 5. So just some small things like that. Sorry. They added new fog, so you'll see in the morning sometimes you'll have fog roll in, which is really interesting and adds a whole new element to the game as well. I thought it would be really boring and really just not add that much, but it does add a little challenge to the game because it is noticeable. So you may be out and about in the morning, early morning, but you have to bear in mind that you might not be able to see as well as normal. So that's another thing to bear in mind, the fog. So that's a huge thing. The new high-res sky system, so as you can see, the sky looks a little bit more realistic during stormy times, during stuff like that. It's just a little bit more realistic. So that's another thing. Now this is what I was talking about before. They added a new quality range system for guns, as well as obviously weapons. The parts have 7 quality ranges with colored degradation bars, including gray broken, brown faulty, orange poor, yellow good, green fine, blue great, and magenta flawless once the player collects enough parts and has read the right gun book. Unlocking the recipe, you can assemble a working gun. The average quality of the parts then determines the average quality of the weapon. So if you find a bunch of parts like are just laying around in a house or whatever, you want to put together a gun. The average level, and I can show you that when I loot something, a gun part, but the average level of their degradation or quality is the level that the gun's going to get. And you notice that back in the day when you looted just a weapon out of a box, sometimes it would be degraded. Same kind of thing, except for in this case your parts are degraded as well. So just something to keep in mind, that is kind of how it works. And as your crafting skill increases, when you're crafting weapons and things like that, the quality of those weapons go up. So now I'm going to take you into this cave, and it's I need to make another axe first. I'm going to use the torch as a weapon because yeah, it's gonna be dark in there. You can kind of see for a little while, but it gets to a point where you don't really have vision. So we're gonna turn 3 of these into board. Well, 2. We'll do 2 because that's quite a few boards. Okay, let's go in. It's right here. So sometimes when you're in the wild, you'll see these. I saw one off of a river, which was kind of weird. But you'll see these, and they're literally just chasms, right? There are mushrooms. I've had on and off times where I can't loot those mushrooms. But as you can see, the interior of this cave gets really dark. Really interesting the way they've done this because it does look different. You used to be able to kind of muddle around in the dark with without any light, but as you can see, they've got roots coming through. They've got stalactites/stalagmites up here, which just add a whole new element to this game. I mean, obviously, having caves is kind of an odd thing, but if they're going for realism, there will be naturally occurring caves. Now, I've seen a lot more of these than I think would be naturally occurring, but that's not really my decision. Now, you can see there's zombies wandering around in here. I'm not going to go any further because that's a pretty large drop and not really something I want to be a part of because I'll get stuck in there. But anyways, generally you'll find these and they will not drop off like that. There will be drop-offs, but they won't be that drastic. But the good news is these can actually lead to mineral deposits. If you're mining, you don't have to build a huge mine to get to whatever you need. Like, for example, I can now get clay because this is all clay, right? I can get to clay and I don't have to search for it, really. But, again, these are just small things. There's obviously another cave right here. And this is what I mean when I was saying that it seems like... What the heck is this? There's a fireplace in here? That's really weird. There must have been a house trying to spawn here during rendering. Anyways, I did have to restart again. My old world was lost as soon as it went to this new system. I didn't really look for a solution because of the fact that I kind of would rather explore this. Now here it is. I'm leading to the same pond, underground pond. I'm not sure if I can get out over there, so I'm not going to jump in again. I just wanted to kind of see what was going on here. And obviously I can get to a campfire if I need one here. But I wish I could pick it up. If I destroy this, will it let me pick it up? Let's try it. Who knows? Sometimes when you destroy stuff that's placed throughout the world, like a fridge or whatever, you can pick it up sometimes. Couches and whatnot. Nope, no luck. No such luck. Which is fine. I was just kind of trying it out. But again, these are kind of new things. The one thing I do find awesome that I love about this new update is, oh, look at that, there's coal here. Or is that iron? That might be iron. Looks like there's a dugout hole here. This is kind of odd. I've never seen this many cave systems out in the open. But one thing I do love, I wanted to show you the difference in the barks of the trees, which I like. Like there's this one. You've obviously got the white cedar, or I'm not sure. Those are the ones I call those cottonwoods, but I'm not sure if that's what they're called everywhere. But then there's this one. Just different kinds of barks, and they all look pretty darn good. The overall quality of the bushes and things like that have increased. But anyways, getting back to some of the upgrades, they added the new item quality range. That's the tools, melee weapons, and armor, bow, crossbow, wrench, blah blah blah. They all have that. Well, actually, wrench, hammer, nail gun, all those will have quality in the future. They haven't got those going yet. I'll show you. Oh no. I will show you in a minute here. I want to show you the bow, so I will do that. That's kind of one of the reasons why I was making the sticks, or the planks, so I can make sticks. So as you can see down at the bottom, level up, you are now level 2. I don't know, I haven't seen a way to tell where, like, how to tell where your level is at, or how long to the next level, or anything like that. So that might be something they need to patch or fix, or find a way to show people. But for now it's just you gotta watch it. So anyway, so getting back to the updates. So in the update, they had a new player leveling system. The system increases your chance to craft higher quality ranged items, which is what I was talking about just a minute ago. Let's see. Items at higher levels with plus or minus 50-degree random quality. The system is a basic precursor to skill trees. The player currently will earn XP for activities like killing zombies, unlocking new recipes, and crafting new recipes for the first time. So you won't get it for everything, but if you're crafting something for the first time, you'll get it. If you're you learn from a book, you're gonna get some XP. If you kill zombies, you're gonna get XP. And it looks like they're trying to turn it into a sort of MMO, zombie survival. Which, I mean, having a skill tree is kind of odd. That seems like they're taking it into a Fallout type playing style, where you can get different skills like marksmanship and crafting and things like that, which, I mean, is fine, but I just hope they don't ruin, well, at least in most of our minds, the idea that it's just a sandbox survival. I don't want it to become a wannabe, you know, WoW type situation where we're having to level to 90 to get anything. And I'm assuming they know that's not what they want to do. But anyway, so that's another big thing. Let's keep going here. They added new locations, including a huge hospital, 2 new grocery stores, a larger bookstore, larger hardware store, 2 luxury cabins, Indian burial grounds, and some of these are not available in random gens, so we might not see them. I'll have to look up which ones and find out if I want to go looking for them. But yeah, some of these are not random gen. Some of them are only available in the main map that you can preload. So I'll figure that out, and I just wanted to kind of go over some of these updates with you guys and kind of tell you my thoughts on everything there. Let's get the bow. I want to craft the bow. Wooden bow. I should have all this stuff, I think. Now the bow, I don't like the bow personally. Still, I want to show you because it's kind of just interesting. I like the idea of a bow over a crossbow just because I'm not really a big crossbow fan. I am a fan of archery in general, but don't do much crossbow. So that's kind of probably my own bias there. Let's put this here. Let's put that there as we don't need it anymore. Let's craft ourselves. Ugh. Get out of my face. I knew she was close. I thought I could get it off though. I think they increased the range at which I can hit people to, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure if people are complaining about that. But it seems like I can hit them from a lot further away than I used to, so I'm not sure about that. But I need to make some. I want to make the axe and then show you. The bow is just the same as a crossbow bolt, or I mean the arrows are the same, just up here in the corner instead. So I'm going to make some of those and then show you kind of general. I mean, this is easy. Obviously, I've made this without actually having a home or anything. They changed the hunger and thirst bars. I feel like they last a lot longer, which is kind of probably more realistic. In game, it's kind of weird because it's like, you know, hey, I probably couldn't last that long, really. Oh, level 3, whoop whoop. It's probably more realistic, actually, because you're supposed to be able to survive for without water for this long, and you know, food for this long. And before it was like you would run out in a day. Look, another cave entrance. It's kind of odd the number of cave entrances there are, and I'm not sure if it's correlated to anything. Like an area, a biome maybe? But I thought I saw a backpack over here. Oh, no, but it was just a garbage pile, which is fine. I'm going to loot that. Now, one thing I wanted to make you aware of as well, kind of just a side note here. Let's see if I finished. No, still crafting arrows. So let's put them out so I can actually use it. Probably end up over there soon. Anyways. So just one thing, so aiming with the crossbow, if you have it with a right click, there is no crosshair. If you have aimed right here, there is crosshairs. But again, sometimes your bow can glitch to the left, and this is my problem with it. And maybe they'll fix that to where it doesn't get in your way sometimes, but it waves. And as you can see, it waved all the way to the right where I can't even see my crosshairs to shoot what I'm aiming at. But again, this is just something that can be fixed. And my way around that really is to kneel. Creeping, you get that two times bonus or whatever anyways. So it's probably smarter for me to do that. But if you creep and you aim and you zoom, it gives you the little eye thing. So you can aim, zoom in, and aim. Now notice how many arrows I've taken to shoot this guy, and he's just barely died. So one thing to bear in mind, the bow takes forever unless you have a headshot. And I'm not sure if they just decreased the damage of the crossbow as well. I haven't crafted one yet. In the update, I assumed it was the same. You can one-shot headshot them, though. So if you get a headshot, you will one-shot headshot them. So something to bear in mind while you're playing. I want to make this a little bit longer of a video, so bear with me. Just going through some more of the updates while I kind of try to survive my first day out here. So just bear in mind those things. They added new locations, which are great. That's awesome. They added the underground cave system, roads, hills, and different biome transitions, which I find to be pretty cool. You won't just have, where you can see a line in the dirt where it's like, oh, I'm in a new biome. It should be more of a transition in between biomes. You shouldn't be able to tell with a line in the dirt where each biome starts and begins. Obviously, this one's kind of by a river, so you can kind of tell. But otherwise, you should have a transition instead of just this one transitions like this through the water and looks really odd. So that should be a little bit more beneficial. They added new hands. I'm not sure about this because you can't really see your hands, right? Like, you can see them here, but you can't. Like, I can see him when he swings, but they're supposed to be new high-res hands. Can I see it more on the bow? No. Let's see if I can shoot this guy and see the hands. So there's the arm. Again, if you're gonna try to use a bow, either aim for a headshot or don't. Don't use it. It takes so long to kill anything with the bow if you don't get a headshot. And these guys, I have not hit one with the headshot once and killed it. I've had to hit him twice. Let's see if I can get this guy, though. Could just be that my aim was off every time. No, that looked like it was a headshot. It looks like they're going low. Maybe I need to aim up. Well, that might, I can't really judge on that because I just did that. There's a new thing too here. If you look right there, you can actually see it. And I don't know how new this is supposed to be because I never saw it in the other other version. But bridges across water, as this is like a chasm, it actually forms a bridge, not just like a piece of stone. This one's metal. Again, I couldn't see, but luckily I figured I had the right sight. Okay, so just moving on. Sorry, I don't want to make this too long. They added new player safe zones set to serverconfig.xml. Basically, that'll allow you to create safe zone towns if you're having a multiplayer server. Something like that. You can add safe zones, safe towns, probably some more role-playing options there as well. Or reasons behind doing that. Oh, I missed. Now, one thing I personally want to see in later iterations is if you use a bow or crossbow, and this is just personal preference, I think you should be able to retrieve arrows. Haven't seen that yet. But if you're using a bow or crossbow, I would like to be able to pick up the arrows, because I mean that's one of my ideas of a real zombie apocalypse. If I was going to use a weapon, a bow would be the right one, because guess what? You don't have to reload bullets. So it looks like this aims a little down. Let's see if I can get this guy. Anyways, so that's my idea. I've already submitted that request to the devs, so hopefully they'll take that into account. And it could just be a chance thing too, where if you kill a zombie with a bow or crossbow, it gives you a 10% chance to get the arrows back. Anyway, so getting back to just I'm looking at the server, the notes here, just kind of trying to make sure I cover everything. Trying to show some of it if I can see it, but like the bow, the tunnels, the crafting system, things like that. But oh, look at that town, nice. Anyways, so let's go move on. Let's take a look. New first-person procedural camera system with procedurally based physics, inertia, things like that. So you should notice that. So they did add, so the safe zone, sorry, I forgot to mention, they made it so that you can configure it to be set up in a way where you can actually do safe zones for people that disables zombies for the chunks that new people are in. So say you're on a server and people are just dying quickly, they get into the game, they get into the game and they just die within 5 minutes of the game, and then you have people leaving the server. So they provided a way where if you want to, you can, anybody below level 5, it'll disable the zombie spawning chunks, which is just another way to get people on servers, get them started, and then start the mayhem on them. So just to keep that in mind as well, if you're going to start operating a server, they have options like that. They added a smoother iron sight system, so your iron sight should be a little bit more or less jerky. So bear in mind that too when you're checking that out. I don't have a gun yet, so I will check that on a later video. But we'll check those things out. Oh yeah, I want to try this out too. There's a new craftable primitive blunderbuss, a single-shot primitive muzzle loader gun with blunderbuss ammo. Basically, you can just put, I'm not sure what you put in it, but pretty much anything, I guess. So that'll be interesting to try out. Those are some things that I do want to try out. Okay, so moving on here real quick to added new craftable bow and arrow, obviously. I showed you that. Added rare Tarza stone axe weapon, which can be found in Apache Artifacts chests, which are in Indian Burial Ground. So they added that. I'm not sure what the point of that is. It's just a rare. I think it's just a rare weapon. But they added that. They added a new feral zombie to the game, which can have a chance to loot a gun from it. I believe that's only available in feral gameplay mode. So that's kind of something you can do if you're interested in that, if you enable feral difficulty. New fire burnt zombie. Those are scary. I've actually watched video renderings of that. Those things look pretty mean, and I don't really want to see one in real life. So those are something new that they did add. They basically look like burnt, crazy burnt zombies. They still look like they're like have embers on them. So kind of interesting there. Oh, of course there's an airdrop. How far away? I don't like the new airdrop thing. I feel like if you're out of range, it doesn't even show up on the map anymore. So that is something I don't like. Not on the map, but it doesn't even show up in the sky. I'm not sure if your render distance has something to do with that. That might be the case. But while I run towards this, I'll finish up here. Add a new zombie gore block system. Corpses decompose into a bloody terrain pile, which can grow if more zombies die near or on top of each other. Eventually, live zombies will use gore blocks to cross over your spike pits or jump over your fort walls. So the idea being, if you start massacring zombies next to your wall, right, they're going to start building up a pile. And then the new zombies that come to attack your fort or your base will be able to use that pile to then overcome your obstacles in their way. Which is an interesting physic. I'll have to show you that in game because it looks really gross and it's just kind of weird. I don't see a real function that. I mean, I get the fact that they should be able, bodies pile up, but it looks really bad. It doesn't look very polished at all, so I feel like they should have left it out until they figured it out. They added new high-res spider zombie, so should look a little bit better for the spider zombies. They added items made from cloth, such as clothing, and clothing can now be scrapped into cloth as well. So if you get a bunch of clothes, you don't have to necessarily just toss them. You can actually scrap those into cloth now. So that's a good thing to bear in mind. I need to kill some stuff. I don't want to get killed here. That was a little too high, apparently. Okay. I'm gonna attract everything and its dogs to me. I can't see. I hate that. Okay. I need to figure out what I can ditch into this dead body now. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that glass panel. All of that I would like to keep, so let's check out. I need first aid kits. What did I thought I ditched enough stuff. Let's see, is there anything else I can ditch instead? Let's get rid of these bones. Well, I wanted to show you this as well. You can also make arrows out of bone. You put bone in the middle instead of... That's something you have the ability to do, so bear in mind that as well. Anyway, so just kind of some things to watch out for. They added wood railing recipe. They added cobblestone ramps that upgrade and downgrade like cobblestone blocks. And a recipe to make them, obviously. Added paper scrapping from skill books now, so you can scrap the skill books. Instead of just throwing them out, you can actually scrap those like you would any other paper book. Now you can see that the decomposing bodies look amazing. I love this feature. And you can hear your feet squish over them. Right? Beautiful. And the major problem is they don't look anything alike, right? This was a nurse, this was, you know, a basketball player when I call him. But anyways, they look all the same now, right? Even though one was a woman, etc., etc. So, something to keep in mind when you're doing this is that you may, I mean, they all look the same. I wish they kind of had a different look to them. But I wanted to show you real quick. So we're going to let these decompose and see if any of them form a blood pile, like we were talking about. They added a health storage crate and the recipe for it. They added a sniper rifle schematic. I think that's for the whole thing. Hunting rifle book. New plains ground texture. Cash register loot containers, so you can now loot the cash register in any store. Added stone shovel recipe to the game, so you don't have to build an iron shovel right out the gate. New privative sod recipe used to make sod houses. Not sure about that one at all. Added unattainable books to gate all weapon part molds. Weapon part forging may appear in a future update. A little bit different. Added insecure downgrade path to player-made storage crates, so you can make it insecure from being secure. Added recipe for flagstone and wedge flagstone. Dynamite held items, so you can place dynamite and blow it up. Shopping cart are now loot containers. A bunch of stuff here. There's a lot of different stuff they've added. I recommend you guys definitely take a look at... Jeez, that sounds creepy. I wonder if I'm near an Indian burial grounds or something. That's creepy as hell. Anyways, these guys are decomposing. I thought maybe one of them would turn into a meat pile so I could show you. But anyways, those are kind of the big ones that I wanted to mention for sure. There are different things that they obviously added. They added sledgehammers, arrows, and bolts can be made out of bone. anyways, there's kind of different things you can do there. I'm going to end the video. I don't want this to end up being a 2-hour video. 35 minutes is way too long as it is. So I'm going to let this go, and on my next video we'll go over a couple different things. So thanks guys for tuning in, and good luck surviving in 7 days to die. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, slap that thumbs up. If you didn't, slam the thumbs down. Comment on this video. You can tweet at me. You can also message me on Twitch, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. The links to those will be down in the description.